His collar popped off again. I could just kill him. What do we do with all the hairs? We'll just pretend that we're going on vacation. We're going to read on the beach. Okay? Okay. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Autumn. This is the Literature Bug. I'm wearing sunglasses indoors because I'm celebrating the glorious weather that we're having. Today, I am going to be doing a video that I've been wanting to film since probably the second week of July, a birthday book haul. For those of you who don't know, both Briar and I's birthdays, I never wear this because it makes a lot of noise. Anyways, today I want to do a fun video for you guys. I haven't done a book haul, I think since the beginning of the summer, maybe like late May, early June. And for those of you who don't know, both of Briar and I's birthdays are in July. Mine's the 12th, his the 22nd. I hear cats. In July this year, because of my new job, we were able to go on vacation for a week. So we went and spent a week in New Hampshire with my family. Got to see my dad, my brother, my sister, my mom, my grandma. Spent a week there and then did a couple of days in Maine with Briar's family. And then also spent a weekend in Maine at the ocean with my mom's family again, celebrating my grandmother's 70th birthday, which also lands in the month of July. So this video is fun because Briar and I have been really on sort of a new financial journey, right? We have financial goals we want to meet, a lot of things that we want to work towards, and so we've been really trying to pay attention to where our money is spent. So we haven't been buying a lot of anything, you know, extra. Like we live in a house with plenty of stuff, but because it was our birthday, and what is a birthday without books, I do have a birthday book haul. Now, most of these books are books that I picked up at Books A Million in Portland, Maine. It's one of my favorite spots ever. It's never a miss for me. It's always a hit. I have always had luck there. I have the Millionaires Club card, and their books, they have a bargain book section that you just can't. Excuse the motorcycles, we live in the city, folks, it's never quiet. Anyways, so we went to Books A Million in Portland, just Briar and I, for a couple hours. I think we were there and I browsed, and you are naughty. We're not nice. His collar popped off again. I could just kill him. Today I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 9 books here to show you today, most of which I bought from Books A Million. I will let you guys know the pricing on those as well because I'm gonna throw that mouse right in the garbage. Take that and go. Alright guys, so without further ado, no more mouse sounds, no more cats on my lap. Let's just get right on to the book haul. Alright, so the first book that I wanted to show you guys that I got from Books A Million is a book called Rise of the Rocket Girls, and this is by Natalia Holt. This is what the cover looks like. So this is really interesting. When we were at Books A Million, it was during the whole Apollo, I think it was the Apollo like space mission anniversary. There's a lot of stuff going on around the news, a lot of celebrations, a lot of things talking about that first landing. And so in the bookstore, I realized that they were also sort of celebrating with their own tables. They had tables out with all the space and moon involved books. And this one just really stood out to me. Lately, I have been really interested in sort of women's leadership, women's advancement in their careers, and just sort of like all the really great women who have made a difference or have influenced something in some way, shape, or form. And this book here is all to do with the woman who propelled us from missiles to the moon to Mars. Natalia Holt is a national bestseller. I have actually never heard of this book before, but it stood out to me immediately when I saw it, and I will just give you guys a little bit of a glimpse as to what this is about if you have never heard of it as well. It says, in the 1940s, when the newly minted Jet Propulsion Laboratory needed quick-thinking mathematicians, it recruited an elite group of young women known as human computers, who, with only pencil, paper, and brain power, helped bring about America's first ballistic missiles. But their hearts lay in the dream of space exploration, and when JPL became part of NASA, the computers helped send the first probes to the moon. Later, through their efforts, we launched the ships that showed us the contours of our solar system. For the first time, Natalia Holt tells the stories of these women, who charted, of course, not only for the future of space exploration, but also for the prospects of female scientists. Based on extensive research and interviews with the living members of the team, Rise of the Rocket Girls illuminates the role of women in science, both where we've been and the far reaches of space to which we are heading. Natalia Holt is an interesting author and sort of stood out to me because right now she currently lives in Boston, which is actually a half hour from me. So Anyways, thought this was interesting. I'm going to love figuring out sort of what their contributions were to all the space missions and the missiles and all of that. So that sounds really cool. The second book is nothing to do with rockets. It is nothing to do with anything real, and it is called Snow and Rose. Check out how beautiful this cover is. This is really what stood out to me first. This book is by Emily Winfield Martin, and she is a #1 New York Times best-selling author as well. Let me give you the scoop on this one. It says, Snow and Rose were two sisters, as different as night and day. They lived in the woods, but it hadn't always been so. Once they lived in a big house with spectacular gardens and an army of servants. Once they had a father and mother who loved them more than the sun and moon, but that was before their father disappeared into the woods, and their mother disappeared into sorrow. This is their story, and the story of the enchanted woods that had been waiting for them to break a set of terrible spells. Snow and Rose is a reimagining of the classic but little-known fairy tale Snow White and Rose Red. Best-selling author and illustrator Emily Winfield Martin has created a world that sits on the border of enchantment, with characters who are grounded in real emotions that readers will recognize in themselves. If you guys are new here and you don't know, or you are not new here, you should know that I have a total thing for retellings. I think that recreating stories is just as interesting and just as compelling as writing a story that's never been told before. And that is what this is doing here. Snow White, obviously, most everyone has heard of it, most everyone has watched the Disney movie, and so I thought it was interesting to pick up this. It's a super quick read. There's beautiful, beautiful illustrations. Let me see if I can find one for you. I'm not finding a good example. Oh, here we go. So like very fairy tale-esque, obviously, but you guys can see how just amazing these are. They all look like watercolors to me, which is something that I've never been able to master because I'm no artist, but this will be fun to read. Like I said, very quick. It won't take me long. I'm already familiar with the story, not as much about Snow and Red Rose, or Rose Red, but Snow White definitely, so this will be very fun. Now, let me also just talk real fast about the price of these books. This one I pulled the price tag off of, but I believe it was only like $6.97. This one here, $5.97. Originally, I like looking at the original price because then you always feel like you're getting an even more of a bargain. Please hold. I'm not gonna try to pull the sticker off, forget it. The next book is interesting, and it's one that I think my fiance was surprised that I picked up and wanted to go home with, but one that I definitely am excited to dive deeper into, and that is Unmasked, a memoir of Andrew Lloyd Webber. So another thing that you guys might not be as familiar with about myself is that I am a total theater nerd. I was never an actress. I did one show, I auditioned for one show and was in one musical in the 6th grade, Once on the Silent Junior, and auditioned for a second show in 7th or 8th grade, and never did it again. I can't not sing, but I'm also not the best, and I also am not confident enough to get up there and do that. Bless everyone who is. But I was always very drawn to theater anyways. I was a huge dancer growing up. I loved musicals for that reason, right? You're sticking it all together in one show. But in high school, I really grew, there was a fascination for me on the backstage side of things. So I became the house manager when I was a senior. I was assistant house manager. Nope. I was stage manager as a senior, assistant stage manager beforehand, and then when I went to college, I was a house manager at a theater, and it really just gave me that behind the scenes experience, lighting and sound, stage management, a lot to do with the set build, just making sure that everything runs smoothly, same on the house manager end. And so I've always had a deep love for theater. When I was in high school and middle school, I danced at a very theatrical, creative dance studio, and we were all just very interested in creating just an amazing and fun show. So enough about that, but just so you know, I have a show tunes playlist. I do listen to it frequently. I jam to them when I am by myself, and I pretend that I am on the stage. I love that. So Andrew Lloyd Webber, actually, he scored the music for, I mean, he's been doing it for over 5 decades, but for shows, if you're not familiar, Jesus Christ Superstar, Phantom of the Opera is one of the ones that he's better known for. School of Rock is more recent. That's on Broadway now. Also, Cats, which I know is coming out with a new movie. Huge cast of just phenomenal actresses and actors. That's coming out in December, I think. I will be there. I'm saving my my movie theater gift card for something good. I think it's gonna be Cats. So anyways, this is just all really about his life involving the theater, his music, just his life in general. This book, for the size of it, right? Beautiful cover, hardback, amazing photos inside. $7.97. Bargain priced at Books A Million. You can't beat that. It's one that I don't think I'll sit and read all the way through in one go. I can see this being something I read a chapter of here and there, just to get some fun details. Never really read much about him. I don't know much about him past his music, but I'd be very interested to find out. So grab that last minute, by the way. On my way out, and saw it and snatched it and was like, need to have it. So there's that. Next on the list is familiar territory for those of you who have been here before, and that is another part of the Dorothy Must Die series by Danielle Page, and it is Stories Volume 2. And I think now I am only missing one, and I will have the entire Dorothy Must Die series, the whole collection. These are books that I definitely will probably pick up this winter when I'm stuck in the house, there's nothing to do. For as much time as I spend at the beach, I'm very much in the water, which means I don't get a ton of reading done while I'm on the beach, though some people that is their preference. So summertime is tough for me. I feel like I don't read as much as I do throughout the fall and winter months because I'm outside more and I'm trying to like enjoy the weather. Trips and things like that, it makes it hard, especially when you're visiting. Like when I am on vacation, I'm visiting family, so I want to talk to them and chat with them, and reading is such like an independent activity. But anyways, this one's great. This one is actually a set of 3 stories. It says, before the Tin Woodman, the Cowardly Lion, and the Scarecrow became Dorothy's henchmen in Dorothy Must Die. This explains what they were doing. So really it's taking the story of the Wizard of Oz. So after Dorothy leaves Oz, and the Tin Man has his new heart, the Lion has his courage, and the Scarecrow has his brain. It sort of explains what their jobs were, what they were up to after Dorothy leaves. So I'll be excited to read this. Always interesting to me. You guys know I love the story, and for $3.97, really, seriously. Now, the next book that I have to show you guys it's very similar and along the same lines as the Rocket Girls, and that is the Astronaut Wives Club. Look at those ladies. Love the old fashioned. Very nice. This book was $4.97, and it is by Lily Coppell. So she's an author of the Red Leather Diary, which I don't know much about. This is now a major television series, and essentially it is as America's Mercury 7 astronauts were launched on death-defying missions, television's cameras focused on the brave smiles of their young wives. Overnight, these women were transformed from military spouses into American royalty. They had tea with Jackie Kennedy, appeared on the cover of Life magazine, and quickly grew into fashion icons. I told you, I love the fashion. Annie Glenn, with her picture-perfect marriage, was the envy of the other wives. Platinum blonde Wren Carpenter was proclaimed JFK's favorite, and licensed pilot Trudy Cooper arrived on base with a secret... Where am I? Together with the other wives, they formed the Astronaut Wives Club, providing one another with support and friendship, coffee and cocktails. As their celebrity rose and as divorce and tragedy began to touch their lives, the wives continued to rally together, forming bonds that would withstand the test of time, and they have stayed friends for over half of a century. The Astronaut Wives Club tells the real story of the women who stood beside some of the biggest heroes in American history. So again, found this in the bargain section along to do with all of the, no, my battery's gonna die, this has never happened to me, how annoying. I'm gonna try to wrap this up quick. Oh, shite. Anyways, Astronaut Wives Club, probably gonna love that. The next book that I have here is one that I got in a bookish box, and it is called Cold Hearted Boss. All my bookish goodies are leaking out of it. I've yet to do an unboxing or like a video on what I received in the box, but I did receive this book, and I'm showing it to you here and now because you're never gonna see it again. I'm never gonna read this. It doesn't interest me. Like I've been explaining, I started getting the adult books versus the YA books in my bookish boxes, and I'm really just not as interested and not as impressed with the selections. Like, this came in a box what was the theme? The Forbidden Forest. I have no idea what this has to do with the Forbidden Forest. It's by R.S. Gray, apparently a best-selling author. I hate the cover. It's cheesy. I don't like movie covers. I don't like covers with people's faces on them. I like illustrated covers 100 times better. They sell to me. I don't want to read it out loud. I'm just not interested. Like, I feel so much towards this book. You guys are seeing firsthand like how first impressions of books work with me, and I'm just like not into it. So this is probably gonna go in a book box or the little free library down the street. Someone will enjoy this, I know it. I'm not shitting on the writing at all in the slightest because it might be great. I'm not interested in the subject matter. I don't think the story sounds good, and that's that. So that wasn't one that I bought, but yeah. Next on the list are 2 books that I got today. So those were all books that I picked up on my birthday. These are just like a little bit of like a carry-on from, you know, it's like a belated birthday. This actually works because we did use money that we got in a birthday card yesterday at Briar's grandparents' house to purchase these books. So let the birthday fun continue, I believe. So this book here is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This I am super excited about. It is also a bargain. Originally these books are not expensive anyways as paperbacks. This one was $10.99 at Barnes & Noble. It had a 20% off sticker on it. Can't beat that. And also had a 10% off coupon. So I got 30% off, and I think I paid like $7.47 for it. Had to have it today. Why, you ask? Because I wrapped up Caraval. That was one of my summer reads, and I very much enjoyed it. It was one of my most anticipated reads of the year, actually. And I wasn't disappointed, but the ending really didn't do it for me, I don't think. So I'm hoping this is like redemption. Like, this is gonna blow me out of the water. There's also a 3rd book called Finale, which makes sense. But I'm hoping that this one will carry on and make the story, carry on the story so that I don't feel like it was such a cliffhanger. I love the I mean, I like the colors. I love the cover of these. The cover of Caraval is beautiful in the first place. I did pick this one up in softcover because of the deal, but I think I would eventually love to have the whole set in hardcover because that's what I have Caraval in. But yeah, excited to read this. This has a lot more to do with Scarlett's sister. What's her name? Something Tella? Donatella. It has a lot more to do with Donatella, I think, this time around, whereas before the whole story was really based on Scarlett finding Donatella at Caraval. So I'll be excited to see what happens in that. And the last book that I have here is from a friend of mine, my friend Sarah, who I read with. Like I said, I'll have to bring her on the channel one of these days. We met for breakfast / brunch this morning, had a great book talk about Six of Crows, which, all right, you guys will have to forgive me. I'm not sure if I'm exactly where I was at about 25 minutes ago. My camera did die, but I was in the middle of telling you about the last book. I didn't actually help this book myself. It was a book that I have been lent by my book club friend, Sarah, and it is called The Little Paris Bookshop by Nina George. Now, Sarah has talked this up. It seems very cute. It seems like all my favorite things. I think Briar's coming up the stairs from laundry. Please hold. So that was not Briar that just came up the stairs. It was a police officer. Weird. We have an elderly neighbor that lives downstairs, and he was asking me if I knew her and if I had seen her. And I asked if she was all right, and he said that they were hoping to find out. So I hope that everything is okay with her. Different change in vibe, but The Little Paris Bookshop is really cool. It follows this man's journey of sort of healing and helping other people heal through his bookshop. I think that is on a boat, if I remember correctly. It seems like a very interesting read. It seems like one I'll fly through. As you can tell, Sarah mentioned to me that it's a little bit beat because it was one of her beach books this summer, but I can totally relate to that. Anyways, it feels a little bit crazy being back in front of the camera. I know it's been a couple weeks, but I do hope that you guys have enjoyed this quick haul and that you've enjoyed seeing some of the things that I have picked up when at the bookstore this summer. Please comment below some of your summer reads, what you've finished up already, what you will be adding to your TBR, books that you picked up, books you got for your birthday, the whole nine. I would love to know, and I would love to get my hands on some of them myself. That is it for now. I hope that you guys are having an excellent wrap up to the summer. I know school is starting soon, hoping to incorporate some really cool, interesting videos into that time of year, as it has always been one of my favorites. That is all I have for you today. I hope you guys have a great day, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!